So I've come up to the Hazel Coppice because I wanted to have a chat with Ken Neal. He's a local ecologist. He's very knowledgeable and he's also hugely practical. So he's come in to help us with our coppicing and hedge laying project up here in the Hazelwood. And I'm going to be asking him about the benefits of coppicing and what it means for wildlife and how he goes about it. So I'm just going to go and chat to him now.
You can see to my left here there's some very large and quite old hazel now, about 25 years old this, very overstood, quite dense as well, creating a lot of shade in this coop here, yeah, there's sort of not very much ground flora in there now because of the shade. So what we're doing is we're reintroducing the practice of coppicing, and what that'll do is allow us to take various wood products from the hazel itself, which we'll talk a bit about later, but also allow the sunlight back to back down to the woodland floor, as we can see has happened in this coop here, which was cut about 4 years ago. The hazel has sprouted right back up and it's now a dense thicket, and you can see that there's bramble growing up. There's not a great deal of ground flora at the moment because of course it is the middle of winter, but there is this looks like violets down here, one of the food plants of fritillaries, butterflies. So allowing that sunlight back to the woodland floor there, and also this cover is excellent for a number of small woodland birds. Dunnocks and blackcaps really like this dense undergrowth. It doesn't really matter the species of tree. It's just that it's this form, this young coppice form that they like that density, as do nightingales, which would be amazing to have here, but who knows. Okay, and this is now the section where we have cut the hazel. It's all now in big brash piles. You can see we made sort of dead hedges here. Again, good cover for wildlife. Stalls are cut right down low, so they'll grow nice and straight and strong from the base. Various uses for these for the coppice wood. Obviously, back in the day, the reason this was done was because they wanted to. A lot of products came out of it. Charcoal came out of it. Hurdles came out of it. Basket weaving, that sort of thing. Also, hedging stakes. I've used hazel for hedging stakes as well. Yeah, we've got a nice pile of logs there that's going to be for wood fuel. As you can see, the area is now very, very open. And obviously that's going to allow a lot more sunlight to reach the woodland floor, like it did over in that other coop there. That's going to allow a lot of new plants and flowers to come up that we haven't seen. That's going to then have those benefits for various insects and other invertebrates, and that will then have a knock-on effect to those other animals which use the woodland. So bats, various mammals, and of course small birds as well. And then there's their predators as well, which will benefit as well. So we're looking here at one of the coppiced stalls, which has been done with a chainsaw. Traditionally it would have been obviously done with axes, but we're using a chainsaw because it's quicker and simpler, and also much tidier as well. Obviously this looks quite brutal. It was what's been done to hazel and cut right down to the ground. But it's worth mentioning that this plant is very well adapted to this kind of damage. It would have suffered this kind of damage, perhaps not in this exact way, but in a very similar way, from large animals that existed here before people did before people existed in Britain. Before we even got here, there were very large mammals here, and they would have done a tremendous amount of damage to hazel, tearing it around, ripping branches out in order to get at those younger shoots near the tops. And so hazel has had to adapt to that kind of damage and be able to re-sprout no matter how much damage is done to it, because it's obviously it's more of not a very large tree like an oak. It's quite a small thing, so it would have been subject to that kind of damage a lot. So yeah, so it will re-sprout from this, and as can be seen from the other coop over there, it grows back very quickly, very vigorously, and really quite successfully. The only thing we need to be mindful of is just damage to the new shoots from deer, and if we can keep those off, then it will just grow back, and once it's got to a certain height, then it's away and it's perfectly safe.